Hello, my dear students. We are coming to a new topic today, that is about self-help groups. Remember the main topic that we are talking about, money and credit. And we saw different sources of credit, formal sources and informal sources. Under formal sources, we studied about banks and cooperative societies. And under informal sources, we saw about private money lenders. And today we find about or talk about another group which can lend money or which is a source of credit, that is called self-help group. You can take in your textbook page number 50. So let us see how these self-help groups are formed and how they help its members and so on. So you remember yesterday we studied about the difficulties of people approaching the bank for loan. Mainly the poor people, the illiterate people, they find it very difficult to go to the bank and meet the demands of the bank and get a loan. Therefore, for them it is very easy to go to a private money lender and take the loan, because private money lender will know that person personally. They may be from the same locality and he is ready to give loan without any formalities. No need to fill up any form or anything. No need to give any security or anything. Only the problem is that he will be charging very high interest. So farmers who have no other source of loan, they will accept his demands of paying back with a high interest and he will get the money immediately. But getting loan from the bank, it is a process. We need to go through several procedures and finally we will get. But the advantage is we will have to pay back very minimum amount of interest. That is the difference. So yesterday we saw a majority of the poor people, they are going to the private money lenders because they have no access to bank. And maybe another reason is that in the rural areas where the poor people are staying, there is no bank in their locality. Most of the banks are settled in or set up in town areas. And therefore these poor people who are staying in the rural area, if they go to the bank in the town, they are not able to get access to the bank. The bank people may not know this person. Somebody has to be there to introduce this poor person or stand as a security for this person and so on. So for all that, there are nobody to help these poor people. Therefore the poor people, in order to meet their immediate demands of money, they go to the private money lender and take it. So today we shall see how these poor people can organize themselves into a group, that is called self-help group, and they can help one another. So they form this group, maybe people who are working in the same field, maybe the farmers who are working in the same field, or maybe people who are running this small scale industry, or maybe people who are doing this cottage industry. So people who are doing this kind of similar works, they come together, maybe 15 members, 20 members or 25 members, they form together an association, they form together an organization, that is called self-help group. So every member who has got some extra income, they will deposit into this group. So everyone will contribute a certain amount for this group, and that way everybody's amount will be put together and it will be a big amount. And then people who are in need can borrow from that amount. Only for this, those who are member of that organization, member of that group. Others cannot come and take loan from there. So this amount is meant only for the members who are joining in this group, self-help group. So they are helping themselves. They are not getting any help from others but from themselves. That is why it is called self-help group. In order to help themselves, they are forming a group and that group is helping them. So they will not be able to give huge amount of loan, because the collection that money they get from its own members, most of the members are poor, therefore they are not able to have much money deposited into it. They will be depositing only a small amount, therefore a small amount of loan can be taken from this self-help group in order to meet the needs of the poor people. So some people may, especially farmers, they may need money at the beginning of the harvest to buy seed, to buy fertilizers, to plow the field, and so on. So they need some money at that time. So these self-help group members can take loan from their group and meet the needs of their daily life. And after the harvest, they will be getting back their profit. Then they can give back that money to the self-help group. So they may be charging a very small amount of interest, so that their deposit can grow, and the coming years they can take more and more loan. So the more money they deposit, the more loan its members will be able to take. So the benefit is meant for their own members. There is no external agencies coming and exploiting them. But if there is more money, the members themselves will benefit. So that way it becomes very easy for the members. There is no much formalities. They don't have to give security, they don't have to give collateral, they don't have to go and fill up the form. So this procedure becomes very easy. So it is very useful for people who are in the rural areas, people who are illiterate, people who are ignorant, people who need money immediately. All these people will be able to benefit from this self-help group. So they need to come together, they need to plan together, discuss together. Often they will be having meetings and so on. So it is for their own benefit. So not only this self-help group will help its members for giving loan, but also they will arrange sometimes classes to give classes to the farmers, how to do the cultivation properly, how to get good harvest, and so on. So they arrange different programs in order to enrich their members, in order to help them to improve their farming capacity, and so on. So that way it becomes very useful for the farmers to get help from this their own self-help groups. And if they are interested, then more people could be added, and they also can put some money as a deposit, and then later they also can receive a benefit from this. So the advantage is that they are self-reliant. They don't have to depend on others, especially small farmers like women and so on. If they go for money lenders, private money lenders, they will be exploiting them. They will be charging them very high interest and making them to work in their field without payment, and without, or with low wages, and so on. So these people like women and illiterate people, the poor landless farmers, they are all exploited by the private money lenders. But this self-help group, it becomes a very useful thing for the people, especially the poor people. They will be able to get the benefit without depending on others, and they can say they can become financially self-reliant. They don't have to go and beg from anybody. It becomes like they have the right to take money, because they themselves have deposited some money there, and they can take loan from them, and it becomes easy for them. So it is also to take care of its own members. Self-help group, suppose somebody is sick, they need money to go to hospital, then they can take loan from this self-help group. Or if they are having some other problems, maybe there is domestic violence, there may be fighting between husband and wife, so this self-help group can help its members to give counseling, to bring reconciliation, or to bring peace in the family, and so on. So all these things are possible. The self-help group is doing excellently, very well, we can say, in order to bring a good atmosphere in the rural areas, to help the people, and so on. Then Let us see an example of a Grameen Bank of Bangladesh. Just take the example how a Grameen means rural bank, how a rural how a rural bank is functioning in Bangladesh. So in Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, it is uh, there are so many villages in Bangladesh, we know, and almost all of the borrowers are women and belong to poor sections of the society. So in this Bangladesh, people who come to this Grameen Bank or rural bank, most of them are women, and they come to borrow money from these banks, and these borrowers have proved that not only are poor women reliable borrowers, but that they can start and run a variety of small income generating activities successfully. So if you interview the people who have taken the loan from this Grameen Bank, we will find out that these women who have taken loan from the bank, they are very faithful, they are not cheating. They go and return back the money what they have borrowed from the bank. They are very faithful in paying back, so they are very much reliable. So when they come next time, the bank is happy to give them again, because the bank knows that this person is hardworking, this person is reliable, they will not cheat and so on. So that makes the bank to give loan more and more. And also these women, they have proved they are taking this loan not for simply enjoying their life, not for simply spending lavishly, but they are making use this money for some better purpose, maybe to do some small business, maybe cottage industry, or maybe to do some other income generating activity. So they make sure that the money that they take from the bank is put into proper use, and it is multiplied. The money is multiplied, increase at the end of the year, it is increase. So they make sure that it is increased. That way the bank is happy that their purpose is uh, meeting with the success. And these women, we know, they are not wasting their money, they look after their homes properly, and they work very hard, and they have a lot of enterprising ideas how to do small things and increase their income and so on. So when it is men, very often most of them, they just think about uh, their own happiness. They drink and waste their money and create violence in the family and so on. But women, they are quite different, they are quite enterprising, they are quite planning out their daily income and so on, and that way they have proved that they are really a success. So if Bangladesh can do, then why not India? India also can start bank in the rural areas. Then people will be able to have access to bank and will be able to get loan and so on. So we hope that the government will take more initiative to start banks in the rural areas as well, not only in the towns, not only in the cities, but even in the rural areas, so that people will be able to benefit from it and receive more and more benefits. And let us sum up this lesson. Let us wind up, and we have come to the last part of this lesson. So we studied about different sources of credit, and we said the formal credits and informal credit centers. So formal means banks are there, another one is cooperative societies are there. All these are formal ways of loan. And informal is anyone who gives money, private money lenders. They could be our neighbor, they could be our landowner, they could be our maybe our relative, whoever is ready to give money from his personal fund. They are called informal resources. And we saw taking loan from the bank is always more safe, because the interest rate is very low. But there are a lot of procedures are there. It is not that easy to go and get loan from the bank. Lot of procedures are there, and if banks can make these procedures more simple, then we can be sure more and more poor people will have benefit from these bank loans, and they will be able to work hard with that money and repay back the loan in time, and the economy of our country will be growing as well. But we see the banks are not ready to dilute their norms, their rules and regulations, and therefore only rich people, the educated people are able to get loan from these banks, and the poor people, they continue to go to these money lenders, and they ruin their life because the interest rate is very high and they are not able to repay back. Then we also saw today that another possible means of a credit center is forming self-help group. So if you form self-help group, then we can put all the members together. They can collect all their extra money into one bank, and those who want, they can take from there, and so on. So there is lot of possibilities are there. Only that we need to plan out, we need to think, and we need to be willing. So mostly women are forming this self-help group, and that makes them self-reliant. They don't need to depend completely on others. They can borrow money from the self-help group, put that money into use, and make use that money to increase their income, and so on. That way they become self-reliant, and they will be able to get more and more higher economically, more and more higher, and improve their lives. So let us ask the help of government to set up more banks. Let us also ask the rich and educated people to come forward to help the rural people, because as long as we don't do anything for these rural people, they will continue to remain poor, and the situation in our country, the financial situation in our country, will never improve. So let us hope that these things will be changed, and there will be improvement in our society, and so on. We shall wind up for today, and we come to the end of this lesson, and we shall also see what are the uh, answers to these exercises that are given. At the end, we shall see it later. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye.